We are joined by Wayne Garcia, who is with Creative Loafing, our Media Talk sponsor, which I think I forgot to mention earlier. Wayne, thank you very much for joining us.
Hey, it's great to be here.
You actually look really nice tonight.
Thank you. Well, I was out doing a little TV work.
Oh, it's not for us?
Yeah, well, it's for you guys. So I wore my Donald Trump tie for you guys.
You know, how many articles are you guys going to do about Joe Redner, and can he win?
You know what, Joe Redner. Well, he's running. This is the 7th time he's running, so I assume if he does not win, we'll be doing number 8 at some point. You know, Joe is money. I mean, he's guaranteed to bring interest to a race, and you know, the point the point I was trying to make with this article is that. I think for a long time people viewed Joe as sort of the folk hero, the strip, you know, club king and all of that. He has become a serious student of government and issues, and he's really done his homework. And when you see him speak in front of groups of people like neighborhood associations and things, he's the one who gets the applause. He's the one who says the things that are simple and direct, without spin, without any other, you know, crazy things going on. And you know, I think people really appreciate that, and but I don't think they can still get past what he does to earn most of his money.
Well, tell us, what can he win? Do you think it's basically focused on what he does for a living to earn money?
You know, the hook this time is, you know, in the past I think can he win was more of an academic question. The reality is he ran in 2006 against Jim Norman countywide.
Right.
If you take out the precincts out in the county and just take the city precincts, he beat Jim Norman in the city of Tampa. So can he win? Yeah, he has a chance at winning. Now, many people will tell you that he's got a couple problems. He's not running against a Republican anymore, so he doesn't have the Democrat thing going on. He's running against actually a person with the party faithful who's very popular. That's Gwen Miller. And there's a lot of other people running to siphon away sort of that anti-Gwen Miller vote. I think the largest problem, though, is that Joe has chosen not to run a real robust campaign. He figures he's got enough name recognition, and he does. I mean, more people know Joe Redner's name than know the mayor's name.
Right.
So he has decided to, you know, he knows that people know what he stands for, and he wasn't going to put $150,000 of his own money into this race. So can he win? Yes. Will he win? You know, I'm afraid maybe he might have picked the wrong race at the wrong time. But you know, you never know how these things are going to go out. A lot of people project him to make the runoff. There's 6 people in the race. There will be a runoff.
Right. So he doesn't always run for the same political or the elected position. He runs for something different.
He's run for city council. He's run for county commission. Yeah, I guess dog catcher's the last thing left.
He's never ever won.
No, and you know, there are still plenty of people in this town who will say he could not win anything, because ultimately, as we saw what happened in Largo this last 7 days, this is a very conservative overall area of an increasingly conservative state. So, you know, Tampa is generally a little more liberal, a little more Democrat leaning. Can he win in a place like this? It would be fascinating if he did.
Well, let's talk about some of the other election coverage that you've been covering, because almost every week you've got something written about somebody.
Oh, well, you know, I mean, on Tuesday, the voters in Tampa go to the polls. The week after that, everybody in Pinellas will go to the polls, voting on Penny for Pinellas, voting on some other things. But I wrote about my second story this week, in addition to writing about all the races in Tampa, and there's just too many to even begin with. I mean, there's some crazy races going on. But I wrote about 10 easy ways to fix politics, because I thought it would be fun, and because from a practical standpoint, because I was in politics and back in journalism and back and forth, I go and speak to a lot of groups, and almost invariably, you know, I talk with a lot of negativity about some of the aspects of politics that are not real good. And so people say, well, how would you fix them? And so I went out and I literally asked a dozen or more people, elected, unelected, activists, left, right, all over the thing. I said, what one thing would you do to fix politics if you could wave the magic wand? And I took all their ideas and I boiled them down to 10. The number one idea, and it didn't make the list because it's just impossible because of free speech, is outlaw negative campaigning. Everybody wanted to outlaw negative campaigning.
What were the top 3 in your article?
The top 3. Well, let me tell you, I didn't number them sequentially, so I'll tell you the ones that I think were the most important, or the ones that I like the best. I think the most important one is actually something that there's legislation to do and that is to ban or limit shadow political committees. These are the groups that run, like, the Swift Boat veteran groups and those kind of things. But we have them in the state. They're even worse. The state versions of those groups have even less regulation and are allowed to operate even more secretly. And there's a House bill right now that would require a lot more disclosure of how they spend their money, who gives them their money, and what races they spend it in, and would limit them from their unlimited campaign contributions they get now. So I think that's one that's really important. I think it's really important to make Election Day a national holiday. And instill,
so people can leave work and go vote.
So people can go vote, and also make it easy. Vote by mail and by the internet. You can walk every 10 feet. You can hit a banking machine, an ATM, and take out money, which is secure, and they've figured out a way to make that secure. But we can't figure out a way to make voting that easy and that secure. Why not? Well, I don't know.
Right.
So I think those are two. There's 10 others. Everything from independent redistricting, which we've written about before, to making the county elections nonpartisan, to take some of the partisan fight out of fixing potholes. Is there a partisan answer to fix a pothole? You fix the pothole. So
we actually our next guest who's coming on after you, Bill Sharp, had a political, I guess not roundtable, but
he had a little forum with the District 4 candidates,
and all of the district people were here, and Julie Brown, I think one of her comments when she left was, "What a great way to broadcast what we all have to say."
Exactly.
But before we get to him, why don't you tell us about some of the see and do's that you have in creative besides the Gasparilla Festival of the Arts?
The Gasparilla Festival, which everyone should go to, and actually, I have a big fight going on in my family, because it's like, well, do we go to the Renaissance Fair or we go to the Gasparilla Arts?
The Renaissance Fair goes on for
the Renaissance Fair goes on forever, and then the Strawberry Festival is going on this weekend too. So there's too much going on. Yeah. Hey, a couple of things tonight. S.V. Date, who is the Capitol correspondent for the Palm Beach Post, who's written the definitive book on Jeb, America's Next Bush, is doing a reading and a signing up the street here at Inkwood. So that's tonight, Thursday, March 1. Is that tonight?
That's today.
That's today.
That's
okay,
today.
Well, I don't know what day it is. And so I think that's a really good one. And then the Guerrilla Theater has a new show, Orson Shadow, and they always do a great job. And that runs March 1 through 18. So there's a lot of great stuff. As always,
you got to pick up your see and do and your creative loafing. Thank you very much for coming out, and it looked nice. In fact, I always want to see you in a shirt and tie.
I will try to always wear a tie.
Or next time you come, wear our Media Talk shirt that I'm sure somebody has given you.
I got it right here.
There you go. I want to see
all over it.
Wayne, thanks again, and thanks to Creative Loafing.